Yeah, obviously being a local player, I know all the grounds well. I've played a lot over the whole country. In the season, I batted in different positions and always prided myself as a batter to be adaptable. So that was a big key for me. In the middle order, sometimes it's tough to come in South African conditions. You need guys to really bat deep, and there's top four to go deep to, and we've seen that in our campaign where we probably haven't done that enough. But the last bit, batting at the top of the order, which is something that comes naturally to me, especially the games at the Highveld, Johannesburg, Pretoria, and so forth. So it's been an interesting season. It's come with its challenges. We've been okay as a team, but probably just haven't put that complete package together in terms of performance often enough. Yeah, I grew up in Pretoria, which is not too far from Joburg at the Highveld, and at school cricket started with what they called mini cricket back then. And my older brother played cricket as well, so I started with him. We started playing in the backyard, and I suppose like all the kids do growing up, played at school, and obviously really enjoyed it from early on. I knew I wanted to be a cricketer. I wanted to try and make a career out of cricket. So from early primary school and sort of throughout high school, I set that as my goal, and sort of started to live my life according to what will best give me a chance to achieve that dream and that goal. And yeah, from there, after school, I went to academy in Pretoria, and eventually to Northwest, and then ended up in Johannesburg playing for the Lions. And from there, I've had a successful career in all formats. Started playing for South Africa, and that's the short version of how it started for me. I think it's evolved as I've grown older, especially when I started playing. I think I made my first class debut at the age of 18 or 19. The emphasis was very much on red ball cricket, and then as my career sort of started progressing, the last 10-12 years, T20s became a lot more mainstream, and because I'm blessed naturally to be tall and have long levers and I can hit the ball far, I think that played into my strengths. Also playing at the Highveld where the ball travels far. Early on in my career, when I came onto the scene, I could hit big sixes, and the people seemed to enjoy that. And from my point of view, I sort of have always tried to contribute to the team positively and sort of try to be consistent in that. And so it's not only the glitz and glam of big sixes, but also sometimes the more hardy performances that I take a lot of pride in, and I suppose people throughout the years have just sort of seen me as that consistent player which I want to be, and I think going to the latter years of my career, I'll continue to do that, and try and be part of a winning squad. I think I'd tell him to not necessarily do it a lot different than I have. I didn't come on the scene as a golden boy necessarily. I had to work hard for my chances, and I had to do the hard yards in terms of moving away from my home and in search of better opportunities elsewhere in the country. And those early years were definitely tough in that sense. We didn't have contracts early on, and sort of I had to try and make ends meet, and work odd jobs and do a bit of coaching, and but those early formative years, I suppose, really made me appreciate where I am now, and also gave me sort of the mental resolve to make it at the top level in a sport, especially in a sport that can be tough. That comes with a lot of positives and a lot of opportunities, but sometimes, of course, because the pressure and is so high, it does become tough as well. So I think my formative years early gave me yeah, that sort of resolve and resilience. And I would just tell that kid to, you know what, work hard, think for yourself, like you've always done, and never try take the easy road. Take the hard road, and because it will pay dividends. I think these days, under pressure, you revert to what comes normal to you, and you revert to your factory settings, if I can say it like that. And you know, pressure brings out different character traits in different people, and I think you know, during those early years, not necessarily getting all opportunities easy, having to really bide my time, having to put in all those hard work and performances for so many years. I only started playing international cricket at the age of 29, so and that's really only when I got my break. So for those first 10 years or so of my career, you know, really having to take the hard road and put in the hard work. Not that everyone doesn't put in the hard work, but I think yeah, like I said, maybe mentally it just put me in a good space to know that, you know, when I got to that level, you know, the pressure is not, you know, walking out in front of 50,000 people and having to hit a six. You know, pressure is sometimes not knowing where your next paycheck is coming from, and you know, not having money in your account to draw out at an ATM. You know, that's real pressure, and that's the pressure that I had in my career, and that a lot of people in South Africa especially still has. You know, you go out as a youngster, you need to perform because you need to try to secure a contract. You need to try and be in the team for the next match. You know, that's the real pressure. So there's a saying that says pressure is privilege, and I think that's where I am in my career now. To be able to play in front of all these spectators for these teams, you know, it's a privilege, you know, and I see it as such. And you know, cricketers have a good life. We play in front of crowds. We get paid handsomely to do what we do, and yeah, I suppose that's how I try and play my cricket these days. Yeah, definitely. I think as a cricketer, you're always looking to improve. From an international perspective, there's a World Cup, 50-over World Cup in India later this year, so that's always at the forefront of, I think, any sportsman's goal, to not only go to a World Cup firstly, obviously, but to compete and try and win that World Cup. And then from a personal point of view, yeah, I still feel that I can improve. I still think that, you know, hopefully I've got 4 or 5 years of cricket left in me, and hopefully a guy like Faf has shown that, you know, at the age of whatever he is, 38, 39 now, he's still playing the best cricket of his life. So he's someone that I've always looked up to and someone that I idolise, and I'm good friends with him as well. And yeah, hopefully I can follow in his footsteps similarly, and like a guy like Shane Watson or Faf during the latter years of their career, really come into my own in terms of a T20 and a white ball player. I think expanding my game is something that I've always tried to do. You know, there's two sides of it. You want to stick to your strengths, and my strength, especially playing up here in the Highveld, has always been to hit straight and use the pace of the ball. But as you progress in levels and as you play in different conditions, you know, bowlers get better. They start to work you out and start to bowl in areas that you're not accustomed to and that you're not as strong as, and that's the next step you got to take as a batter, to sort of reverse engineer that and say, okay, well, if guys are starting to work out my strengths, I need to get stronger in different aspects, and that's what I've tried to do in the last few years. The different shots that I play, you know, I can't say to you that it's always fun to train and to practice, you know, scooping a guy bowling at 150 k's an hour. It's not always that nice, but it's something that I do train, and you know, try and put myself out of my comfort zone to know that if I need to go to it in a match, that I've done the work to be confident in that. And then yeah, things like playing spin, reverse sweeping, and all those types of things. It's some things that I've brought into my game the last few years, and just so that in any given option, any given match situation or condition, that you feel you have an option to go to if you need to. Yeah, definitely. I think it's helped me a lot. Different perspectives. I played with Ash obviously when I started playing international cricket a few years ago, and another idol of mine, the guy who I've looked up to, and I was lucky enough to play with him in a match. I knew him coming into the coaching setup, and yeah, just to pick his brain again. I mean, he's probably mentally one of the best and the toughest cricketers that you could find out there. So to tap into him has been great. And Katage, I mean, fairly similar. You know, it's very sort of calm under pressure and very clear in what he wants. So to speak to him and Jacob, world-class players in their own right, to just, it's different perspective. New Zealand, Australia, South Africa. It's just always good and fun, or not fun, I suppose, but good for me to get that perspective from different guys who's experienced cricket differently in different conditions, different countries. And I mean, you can always pick up something from those types of guys to apply in your own game. Yes, I think it's been tough for some of the younger players, especially. You know, it's a high pressure environment. You know, I compare it almost to the IPL, and you know, the IPL is not far different from international cricket. And this competition, you know, it's a lot of fans for a lot of these guys playing in front of packed stadiums for the first time, and it's a lot of expectation. There's big names in your team and in your coaching staff, and you know, the pressure does get to you. And I think it is tough for a young player coming in to try and work out his game in a situation like that. But they've been very forthcoming in terms of they want to learn, and they've come in leaps and bounds in just these 10 games. So for the future, you know, all the talent, all the ability is there. It's merely going to be a case of just mentally tuning and fine-tuning in terms of what you're thinking under pressure, what your process is, what can you stick to, and then applying that out in the middle when the pressure's on. And I think in terms of our squad, looking at that, we're blessed with so much talent, and I think in the next few years, if the squad can manage to stay together, there's going to be a lot of success on the field. It definitely helps. I think sometimes you can play similar cricket that we've played, or even worse cricket, and you can come out on top. And it can sort of seem easy and everything just happens, but the real learning sometimes happens from having those tough situations, losing those close games with a ball or two to spare, like we've had this season, a few of those games. You know, and that really hurts. And then the perspective it gives you going forward. You do learn more than you lose, than when you win. That's just human. And I think, you know, unfortunately for us this year, we've had those tight losses, and it's tested the group in terms of character. But I've no doubt that going forward, that's going to teach us a lot going forward in terms of a squad. And there's going to be times in coming seasons, hopefully, that you're going to pull on that, and you're going to revert back to what you learned in those situations, and we're going to be on a positive outcome because of that. I think thinking clearly is a skill, definitely in a pressure situation. It's the mental side of the game. It's something that I've really worked hard on throughout my career, and read up a lot about, and spoken to a lot of players about, and the basics always seem to be to just simplify a situation, to think clearly, to take a few extra seconds, because it can get quite hectic out in the middle. You know, there's a lot of more noise, there's music, there's crowds, there's pressure, there's cameras, TV, you know. So it can overwhelm you easily. And I think the ability to just step back, take a few extra breaths, think objectively about a situation, think what the team needs of you in that situation, to really simplify it in that way, and to just calm and clear your mind is definitely a skill. I've spent my career trying to get better at that, and if younger players can sort of feed off that, and take some pointers from stuff that I've learned by myself, hopefully they can, and it'll take them quicker to get to that level. But in general, I feel like I'm a calm person, and like I said earlier, under pressure, your sort of natural character traits come out. I've absolutely loved playing in this team. In my Cape Town, the moment I arrived, we were coming straight from Australia. We had a tough tour in Australia, and the moment I arrived, really, like, everyone was just so welcoming and positive, and I really fed off that. It was a long travel day, and a long tour in Australia, and when I reached the team in Cape Town, I was just really rejuvenated and energized by everyone, the energy everyone has, and the enthusiasm. We say one family the whole time, and it can easily be a thing that you just say, but it's something that I've really felt in the last month. The brand, one of the biggest brands in the world, sporting brands, to represent that is, it's an absolute honor for me and a privilege, and it's a pity about the results that haven't gone our way, but it's sport, anything can happen. You can sometimes do everything correct and everything right, and it still doesn't go your way, and it is what it is. That's why we play this game. There's no guarantees ever. But you know that when you keep doing the right things consistently, that more often than not you will get rewarded, and I think that's what we've done. I think we have a really tight and good squad, good characters in the team, and I think our time off the field we've really enjoyed, even though on the field sometimes it didn't go our way. SA20 is definitely a game changer in the South African cricket landscape. I think we've always known the amount of talent we have in South Africa, and for me now this is an international platform where the guys, where the more unknown guys, if I can say it like that, could showcase their talent, and we could see the depth of the talent in South Africa. The opportunities that come with it, not only from a financial point of view obviously, but the exposure to other leagues around the world, and just for guys to really show what we're made of as a cricketing country. I think that's been amazing. The fans, the cricket culture in South Africa is so strong. We've seen it with the fans coming out in numbers in the last month, and to play in front of packed crowds, for a player is so great. You can't really describe that feeling. From our side, I think we want to say thanks to the crowds, the fans. Everyone is so passionate, and you can only feed off that passion.
It's lekker.